Kyle Edmund hoping for positive Andy Murray news at Queen's. Kyle Edmund is hoping to see Andy Murray back in action at Queen's this week, with the two-time Wimbledon champion set to make a decision over his participation on Saturday morning. The Yorkshireman has risen to British #1 in the absence of the Scot, who has not played a competitive match since hobbling out of his Wimbledon quarter-final against Sam Querrey in 2017, and will be the top-ranked home favourite heading into this year's grass-court Grand Slam. Murray has endured a tough time away from the sport due to a hip problem and went under the knife earlier this season, having failed to return to action at the Australian Open. However, he is on the verge of a comeback ahead of Wimbledon and played 2 encouraging practice sets against compatriot Cam Norrie on Friday afternoon. And with a decision over whether he can compete arriving shortly, Edmund revealed he would love to see him back on court. "Yeah, as tennis fans watching wherever, round the world or at home, and in Britain for sure would love to see him back," he said. "It's been really unfortunate that it's now been a year, and a year is a long time to be out and not have any matches. If it's 3 months or 4 months, it's different, but I think a year is a while, and for sure I think everyone is keen to see him back. Only he knows where he is in terms of his body and so on. I just spoke to him in terms of I've hit with him and I speak to him then, but I never ask how his hip's been. I never ask that question because he'll probably not want to answer it, and he probably gets asked it a lot." Though the pair just worked through a series as Edmund continued adapting to the grass after a fine clay court swing, the world number 18 was seriously impressed with the 3-time Grand Slam winner's level. When asked if he was still hitting the ball well, he replied, "That's the thing. That was very impressive to see. He's, a proper tennis player, and you can tell because even with time away from a match court he still hits a very good ball, very clean and just a pure striker of the ball. That's never disappeared. I guess the thing is obviously the movement. But in terms of a ball striker it was no different. He hits a very good ball and it was great to drill with him." If Murray opts not to compete at Queen's, he faces the prospect of jumping straight into best-of-5 sets tennis without fine-tuning his game. And Edmund admitted it would make life tougher for the former world #1. "I don't know 'cause I've never really done it, but I'm sure it is tough in the sense that it's always good to play tennis before a Grand Slam. You get match fit physically and also in your head. It's good to play matches because you anticipate plays a lot better. I always find when you don't play for a while, you start thinking a little bit more, but when you play regularly and matches, it's like autopilot, it just happens. I don't know, it depends." It's a tough question because it's obviously related to Andy, but he's not played for a year. But if he played 2 weeks before, like some of the top players do, they have like a week or 2 weeks out and they are able to play okay. So, it's just one of them, it depends on the person. If you've taken a period out from tennis but also you're coming back from injury, it's going to be tough. But only Andy knows what it's going to be like. Dan Evans handed Queen's wild card as he makes ATP Tour return Andy Murray to make Queen's participation a decision on Saturday morning. Andy Murray offers hope for Wimbledon after Queen's practice set.